Hey everybody, hi, it's Deanna Fenton here with this week's episode of Simple Steps to Online Success. Hope you're having a fantastic day. So I did a test myself. I created an email and we created a template using the new Visual Builder. And then I sent a test for the plain text version of that email against the new Visual Builder. So this was our Friday email that we sent. So this was the one that was more set up like a newsletter. So what we did, we had added the logo, added a nice image. We went through, had a button, the divider with a headline on it. So I talked about the weekly roundup, talked a bit. This was referencing the Facebook Live I did last week. I gave links. I did a lot of links in this email, links to the resources that I recommended for email marketing, including the tester, linked back to the Facebook Live replay for people. Then I did another announcement bar. I talked about a book I'm reading. So you can see I made this much more newsletter-like. I did some tools of the trade, some of the tools that I use, and gave different links. And yes, those were affiliate links. And I had my social media icons there. Now, I will tell you, one of my really dedicated members of the Kajabi Flight Crew Club membership that I run, she flat out told me, and I really value her opinion. She said, when I opened it up and saw it look like a standard newsletter, she said I deleted it. So she didn't even read it. And again, your audience, as they like to say, your mileage may vary. Your audience may be different. Your audience may love this style, but I wanted to test what happened. So this was the email, and it says Friday, but the fact is I screwed up and I actually ended up sending it out on Saturday, which, and it'll bring us to another point that we're going to discuss today. So that was my first test. So that was a live test, sent it out to a segment of the list. And I also ran it through that mail-tester.com site. We took all of that content minus the images, and we created another email campaign. And this was just simply a text version. And we ran that through the email tester. The score, the anti-spam score. So a perfect score is 10. The text version was a 9. There were a couple of little things that dropped it down. But the visual editor, the newsletter style, was an 8.5. Now, a lot of the reason why the visual editor was 8.5 is we neglected to put in alt text to identify the images. Ironically, today, I ran those exact same tests. I just sent the preview of each of these emails. And this is my text email. So again, keep in mind, your spam score is going to affect whether or not your email lands in somebody's inbox or in their spam folder. So it gave me, instead of a 9, 8.5 out of 10. So it went through and it told me any particular areas that it knocked off points. So it knocked off half a point because it said the body of my message contained errors. And one of those things, as I mentioned, we found one image without alt attribute text. And this was my logo. Because I showed you maybe I didn't show you, in the text version, there was one image, which was my logo. So it did not view alt text to describe to somebody what that image was. Therefore, it knocked off half a point. Now let's talk about the pretty visual newsletter style email. That scored an 8 out of 10. Still considered very good. Same thing, I got dinged half a point for not having alt attributes in the message body. And in this case, there was 153 images. Now, you're going to say, what? I didn't see 153 images. It's seeing things such as borders and spacers and things of that nature and identifying those as images. So some of these I could have done a better job. I could have actually maybe named the files better, and it might have picked that up as alt text, or been a little more careful when I uploaded the images. So there was a whole lot there. But mind you, there was one image in the previous text-only email, and I got dinged half a point, and there were 153, and I only got dinged half a point. So take that with a grain of salt. Now, the other thing that was interesting is it dinged because there was a broken link. So this is something from my perspective that I need to look at. What was sent out that was deemed a broken link? Was it something that we added that was viewed as a broken link? Or here, actually, it says a 403 error forbidden, that somehow there was a link that was a transparent spacer. I'm not sure why that would have been considered a link, because it looks like it's an image file to me. But it did identify because I had affiliate links. So it did note that those were redirections, because I used my personal affiliate links that redirected to another site. Didn't ding me on that, but it did identify it. What did I learn from doing this test? Well, one, I do believe personally, when I looked at my stats for this test, and at what I was doing was comparing the newsletter style email that was sent out on Saturday with previous text only emails that were sent out. The open rate was lower. Now, I'm going to give you, we're going to talk more about this. We're going to talk about testing. Testing is extremely important. That low open rate could have been because I sent it on Saturday, okay, instead of Friday, where it might have had a higher open rate. But my open rate on Saturday was only 20%. However, my click-through rate was equal or better than previous text emails. I don't know. Maybe it was the content. Not sure. Actually, I should back up, because I do see also on the 1st of February, prior to the new email editor, I had a 32% open rate, which is pretty damn good these days, on a Saturday email. Now, our text emails are averaging more in 30% consistently. And click-through rates are hovering around 3 to 4%. So what would I do? Well, I think tomorrow we'll do one more test, and we'll do the newsletter style and send it out on Friday. So I have a Friday to Friday comparison.